Good morning, Deepak. It's good to meet you again.
Yeah, nice meeting you too.
I know we've had a great last night session. Today morning was very, very intense. I believe you've attended the Horasis Cyprus meet.
That was my first one in June this year.
And so this is your second Horasis meet. Wow. So, very quick question. So, what draws you to Horasis? I mean, since this is the second time you've already come here, what draws you to this summits of this kind where there are multilateral subjects of all kinds discussed and you meet a whole lot of people? So what is the first thing that you believe draws you to the Horasis Global Summit?
Well, I must say it's Frank's innovative positioning with each of the events. And me per se, because of the diversity of our businesses, I find this is a good platform to connect with people who are in similar businesses, to exchange ideas and look at the possibilities of shaking hands at the end of the day.
So, and you think if I were to take that question to the next level, that we'll be seeing you again at some of the forthcoming Horasis summits that are probably planned all over the European subcontinent?
Yes, I certainly look forward to having sort of slotted in 2 slots on an annual basis. One is as far as Africa is concerned. That's something that Frank and I are talking about because Africa is a very important market for the businesses that I do. As I mentioned to you, that I sit on the global board of a bank there, the number 2 financial institution. And what we want to do is to engage between India and Africa particularly in terms of governance, in terms of trade finance that happens, the banking side of it, the insurance side of it, the financial services side, as well as got to do with the infrastructure side. So that's a platform that we want to set up.
Do you think that there is an opportunity that you might see a global African business meet through Horasis?
Yes, I see that
happening very soon.
Well, I would say that in 2012, I'm very hopeful it should happen.
Wow, that's
and
good.
It's something that has already been set into motion. Frank is very good at structuring the topics.
He's absolutely wonderful.
But as far as I'm concerned, last night I was talking to our Minister from India, Mr. Kamalnath. It's very interesting that he came up with the same proposition.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yes.
He was talking about Africa
Yes.
pretty intensely and very positively on Africa.
So the deal with him was that, listen, since you're talking about it and you're so keen on it, so you're going to be there at the first event.
Bravo, that's
so
great.
So we got him committed on that one.
That's great. Yes. That's a great thing. I think that'll add a lot of value to it because Africa is the future everyone's talking about. Let me take you to another question that I have in mind, and I thought I might just ask you. You've got multitude of business and verticals, different kind of businesses. One of the businesses that I think you have is retail, shopping malls, asset management. If I were to ask you that question, more particularly for Asia, with the Arab markets, how do you see this business in terms of opportunity in the next few years, in the short term and the long term? Both retail, asset management, for Asia, India, Arab world.
The focus would be, right now we started off with India, if I might take a minute, that yes, we are into retail, but it's more through multi-purpose developments. What we do is that we've got listed funds, which are listed in Mauritius and Singapore, and we draw monies into India. This is through the FDI route. That's the investments that are done. A point in case being, let's say Aurangabad is a city. We've got almost 2 million square feet of development happening. 800,000 is a mall that we've opened in October last year, and it's doing quite well, far ahead of our objectives. The rest is commercial space. Now we're taking the same formats in other cities in India. So where do I see that? India is where we also do mall management. That's one of our companies. We have hospitality. Within this place itself, we put our budget hotels and resort hotels, depending on the location. We want to emulate that. The Arab world would be of interest because consumerism here is very attractive. You see the malls over here, and there are footfalls which are high. I see that being replicated in some of the other states within the Arab world. And right now, as of currently, our hands have been pretty full in India. But the expansion, definitely this will be a choice that I'm going to look at. More also because it becomes an attractive destination to look at, because the sovereign funds which are here are very keen on realty compared to the US funds, which have a lower benchmark of 5% within their portfolio. In the Arab world, they like realty.
So that's a higher.
There is a higher allocation, and India is a destination that they are keen to look at. So Horasis is also a platform for us to engage on that.
Very good. So I can see very clearly that you're very bullish on these two verticals of business that you talked about.
Absolutely.
And I also believe that you are a very key partner in facilitating the Horasis into some new areas that are like the African you mentioned. So I wish you all the best, and I hope that 2012, who knows, we might just meet up in Johannesburg.
Yeah, absolutely.
Horasis Global African Business Week the first time.
Yeah. And we'll celebrate that with a good South African wine.
Absolutely, Deepak, and thank you so very much for taking our time with us. And you have a good stay.
Thank you.
And a safe flight back home, wherever you're going. You're going to India or somewhere?
I'm going to India tonight.
Okay.
Yes.
Thanks a lot, Deepak.
Thank you.